In this lesson, we are going to be learning about the gender of nouns. As you should know, everyone should know what a noun is. A noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. And in Spanish, all nouns are going to be considered either masculine or feminine. It's important to remember that this is strictly a grammatical concept. So don't think, oh, this person uses such and such, so it must be masculine, or this person uses this thing and it should be feminine. That's not going to be the case. It's a grammatical concept. And so it's going to be very important for you to know the gender of the nouns that you learn, because it will affect other things as we learn more Spanish. Okay, so what are masculine nouns? Masculine nouns, if it's referring to a person, that's when the gender of the person matters. So for people, masculine nouns refer to males. Amigo, which is a male friend. Profesor, a male professor. Padre, father. Okay. So when it's people, those are all. If it's a male person, then it's going to be a masculine noun. But when it's a place or a thing or an idea, you look at the word and how it ends. So if it ends in O, like libro, book, L, like papel, which is paper, or an R, marcador, those are all masculine nouns, and it's based on the way that it ends. Feminine nouns, again for people, will refer to females. So you have profesora is a female professor. Amiga is a female friend. Madre is a mother. Those are all feminine nouns because they are referring to female people. Other nouns, again, this is places, things, and ideas. You look at the ending. So if it ends in ad, or ion, it's going to be feminine. So we could have a computadora is feminine. Universidad, feminine. Nación, feminine. Based on the way that the noun ends. Now, you see the asterisk by the people. Occasionally there is something that breaks the rule. This will be a word that refers to a person and is either masculine or feminine. It's never, it can't be for both. So the word for person, persona, is always feminine, no matter who you're talking about. The word for victim, víctima, is always masculine, no matter who you're talking about. And those are unusual, very unusual words. Because most of the time, again, when it refers to people, then that's when it matters, if it's masculine or feminine. Okay, if you can't determine it based on the ending of the word, you have to memorize it. You can identify the gender by looking at the definite article. That's either el or la. Or if you were looking it up in a dictionary, it would say M or F to let you know this is a masculine noun or a feminine noun. So let's just looking at these words, see if you can figure out whether they're masculine or feminine. Or no se sabe, you don't know. Directora ends in an A, and that's going to be feminine. That's a female director. Angel ends in an L, so that is masculine. Compasión ends in ion, so that's feminine. Clase, you don't know, so you would look it up, and it is la clase, so it's feminine. Capacidad ends in ad, so it's feminine. Interés, this one no se sabe. You would have to look it up. It is masculine, el interés. Investigador ends in a R, so that's masculine. Paso ends in a O, so it's masculine. Okay. Like all good grammar rules, there are exceptions, excepciones. So I'm going to present a few words and suffixes that are exceptions to the previous rules. Dia, the word dia ends in an A, but it is masculine, es masculino. The word mapa ends in an A, but it is also masculino. And the word mano, which means hand, is femenino. These are just weird exceptions, and as we learn new words and come across exceptions, I'll try to point those out to you. There aren't a lot in this class, so you should be okay. Also, nouns that end in ama, ema, or eta are generally going to be masculine. Okay? So programa, problema, sistema, planeta are all masculine. And that's mainly because those words came from the Greek instead of the Latin. Okay, so going back to talking about people, en cuanto a las personas. So you've probably seen or noticed that with the ones that end in O for the masculine and in A for the feminine. Okay? So you would change the O to A if you're referring to a female. Amigo becomes amiga. If it ends in an O, it becomes A. Amigo becomes amiga. Compañero, compañera. If it ends in an A, however, if it ends in or, however, it will add, you'll add an A to it. So profesor becomes profesora. Señor becomes señora. If it does not end in O or, it's generally going to stay the same. Estudiante is estudiante for both male or female. El estudiante, la estudiante. Cliente is el cliente, la cliente. Dentista, this is an interesting one. Even though it ends in an A, it's el dentista, la dentista. So ista is a suffix that can be both. It could be masculine or feminine, and the el or la is what tells us the difference. Occasionally, we'll come across a word where an e will change to an a, but that's very rare. So presidente becomes presidenta for a female president. Dependiente, which is a sales clerk, becomes dependienta. Okay, so I've mentioned the definite article. The definite article in English is the. And in Espanol is el o la. So el goes with the masculine nouns and la goes with the feminine nouns. And they're singular nouns. So el libro, la pluma. Okay. El amigo, la amiga. El profesor, la profesora. La nación, el marcador. Okay. El artículo indefinido is the indefinite article. In English and Inglés, it's a or an. A house, a dog. Okay? As opposed to the house and the dog, which you're talking about a definite person or thing. You're being very specific there. So let's look and see what it is in Spanish. Es un or una. So un goes with the masculine nouns and una with the feminine nouns. Un libro, un lápiz, una luz, una mochila, una palabra. So you have un and una. Okay? So whenever it's el, if you want to make it feminine, if you want to make it indefinite, it'll be un. If it's la and you want to make it indefinite, it's una. Okay? So these are not, the definite ones are the indefinite articles are a or an. Okay? And remember that we've seen this before with numbers. Un and una also mean one. Okay? So if you say un papel, it could be one paper or a paper. That wasn't the best example. Un reloj, a clock or one clock. Okay? And context kind of tells the person you're talking to which one you're using. Alright, so those have to do with singular nouns, but we also make nouns plural because things come in plurals. So to make nouns plural, if it ends in a vowel, we just add an S. So bolígrafo becomes bolígrafos. Bandera becomes banderas. Okay? Just add an S. If it ends in a consonant, except for Z, you add ES. Okay? So, for example, borrador would become borradores. Marcador, marcadores. Reloj, relojes. Okay? And the ES are both pronounced S. If it ends in a Z, that Z will change to C, and then you'll add ES. Okay? So, lápiz becomes lápices. Luz becomes luces. Both of those are spelled with C's. Also, if there is an accent mark on the last syllable, and for a word that you're adding an es to it, that accent mark disappears. Okay? So if you have an accent mark on the last syllable, and you're doing the second one or the third one here, you get rid of that accent mark. But when you make a noun plural, you also have to make your article plural. El becomes los, and la becomes las. Okay? So, el lápiz, los lápices. La computadora, las computadoras. Un becomes unos. Un reloj, unos relojes. Una becomes unas. Una lección, unas lecciones. And unos and unas, because you wouldn't say a lessons, they mean some or a few. It's kind of indefinite. We don't know exactly how many. So, you know, remember, un and una can mean one. So, unos and unas just means some. We're not quite sure how many. A little bit more about pluralization. When you're talking about people, we will use the masculine form of, if it's a group of men, un grupo de hombres. If it's un grupo de mujeres, we use the feminine form. If it's a grupo de mujeres y hombres, use the masculine. Just like we did with ellos and nosotros, where you use you revert to the masculine if there's at least one male. So, for example, I'd say mis amigos or los amigos would be friends, and it's either all males or at least one male. But amigas is all female friends. Los estudiantes are male students. Las estudiantes are female students. And los estudiantes could be just students in general, male and female students. If you don't know whether they're male or female, talking about people, then you would revert to the masculine. Okay?